money yet from MVS?
No, I actually haven't. Sad to say, we ended up playing another game of I had to play with my left hand and I lost it, so I had to give him back some bread. So he ended up getting back what I want from him.
Aaron today was talking about that you have to learn to win. What does that mean? I mean, you're a veteran group, and what does it mean to learn to win? Because you guys obviously have won a lot of games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure of how he meant it, but to me, I mean, it could mean a number of things because I haven't really seen his the context of how he used it. But learning to win, learning how to deal with the success of winning could be one way. Learning to win, learning what it takes to win. Certain situations like that, learning how to be able to overcome certain situations, getting used to adversity, different things like that. So that'd be my definition.
Okay, so from those last two things you talked about, the adversity and just kind of pulling things out. You've been here and you've done it before. Obviously, Aaron has, and a lot of you guys have. So, do you have to relearn that, or is it just come ingrained because you guys have done it so many times?
Well, I mean, I feel like once you reach a certain level of experience and you've done a certain amount of times, it's not like we needed to come in this year, individually. I think more so as a team, you have to relearn how to win every year. But individually, certain guys have that kind of killer instinct in them, and certain guys, have to learn that and develop it over time. So with guys like me and Aaron, I definitely say that we figured that part out, but the important thing is making sure everybody else on the team and on the offense for us has adopted the same mindset and understands what it takes to win in those type of situations as well.
I think one other thing Aaron said was you grasping mental toughness in 15 or 14 and the physical toughness with the ankle in 15. Which was more significant in your eyes? Getting down.
I don't know, man. It's person to person, just on which one kind of debilitates you more. But I feel like for me, it was probably the physical, because the mental, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit, because you enduring some of the physical toughness, you got to be able to dig deep, and that's where you enter a different mental space, which is the mental toughness part of it. But I'd say that the physical part, like, literally limits you from being able to, do what you want to do and make the plays you want to make, especially me being the type of player that I am. Obviously an explosive type of guy, relying on my feet a lot, knees and stuff like that. So when I don't have that, it can start to creep in. So they definitely work hand in hand, or hand in hand, but it's definitely a combination of both.
Go ahead.
He was talking this morning about his process of getting to know young guys on the team and how he looks for ways to kind of take them out of their comfort zone when he goes into conversations with them. Do you remember him doing anything like that with you?
Who you say, Torben? A comfort zone things with me?
Like when you first got here?
Nothing in particular. I think it was just a constant thing of him making sure, just testing me in general. It wasn't really about the comfort zone, but it was about just testing, making sure, we'd be in a walkthrough and I'd be on the line of scrimmage and he'll look over at me and give me a short motion to see if I'd try to motion down, when you obviously can't when you're on the line of scrimmage. So, or doing it on a play where I was off, but knowing that I can't based off my assignment. And then when I started getting to the point where he would wave me over and I would just sit there staring at him, he'd smile, and obviously only do that in walkthroughs and stuff like that, just to make sure we knew what we were doing and wasn't just kind of freelancing out there. But I wouldn't say it was a comfort zone thing. It was just more so messing with me to make sure I knew my assignments.
Aaron today said your relentless pursuit of perfection is what sets you apart from your peers. Can you give me an example of something that you think exemplifies that kind of personality, or traits preparing for a game or preparing for a season? Give me something that you think sets you apart in that respect.
Well, I think Aaron knows better than anybody, just because he knows, anytime we have, especially a route on air or something like that, if we don't click up on it, we got to repeat it. So whether that means me going back and running it again, holding up the show, or if I loop back and getting back in the back of the line, run that same route, catch it, go finish, and then line back up, first to start off the next set of routes too. So that's just kind of been a way. So much of what I do, and I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, so much of what I do and why I'm so confident when I play is the reps that I get. Taking those practice reps serious, going 100 miles an hour, and that way when I catch the ball in the game, it's second nature. It's not like a new experience for me. So, you know, I need those balls. I need those routes. I need, you know, certain looks, because that's what puts me in a position where I know I can just go play, you know, full speed and not worry about anything. So you better believe if we don't click up on it in practice, whatever it is, I may ask Matt again, you know, let's run that play again, same defense, switch it up, whatever it is, just so we can get a good look, because that's where I'm, you know, able to carry my confidence on Sundays.
Perfectionism, where does that come from? Has that always kind of been a part of your personality ever since you were a kid, or when did that kind of start?
No, it's definitely been a person. It's the way that both my parents are, same way, obviously, much different, you know, fields, but what I do, I take a lot of pride in it, and I know a lot of what I do, I have a lot of control, or mainly I've a lot of control over what I do as a wideout, you know, especially the way I run my routes. So if it doesn't come up the way that I want to, that can affect me, but you know, especially in practice, that's where I'm able to make it to where it doesn't affect me in the game, because it most likely won't happen because I've done it so many times before. So, yeah, that's kind of my mindset.
Davante, I don't claim to know a ton about football strategy. My training is in journalism, but I have been around here enough to know that pressing you at the line of scrimmage seems to be a bad idea. Yet, according to the research that our people have, you're being pressed more at the line of scrimmage this year than you have like the past 2 years. Yeah. Why would teams do that?
Well, it's a little bit of a that stat is always going to be weird, because I think the reason why I'm getting so much press now is because of the run solutions, and we take advantage of that. So that's their way of eliminating that. But the way you combat that, or not combat it, but you help your defense out, is by playing shell behind it. So that's what they're doing a lot of, which it comes on press on as paper. You know, Davante's getting pressed, but it's not single, you know, press, because typically that's when we end up going over the top and stuff like that. I just think that we win too much, Aaron and I. We connect on a pretty high percentage of those balls. So, you know, they'd rather say, look, we'll put somebody over the top and put somebody in front of them, scare them away from throwing the run solution, and then if they do go over the top, we have somebody there waiting for it, you know, to help out with the corner. But not very many opportunities where it's just, you know, regular one high and I'm getting pressed.
Is there a legitimate way to try to stop you or slow you down that you think you haven't seen yet, or do you think teams have tried everything?
Well, I got one way, but I can't share it. I know one way for sure, but I can't share it. Well, there's two. They tried one in the game, but I resurrected. And then yeah, after that, there's one left, but I'm not putting that one out there.
Davante, on 2 early completions to MVS and Lazard, are those in some regard purpose plays, in that later, do they open things up for you a little bit that the safety might have to recognize? I don't know if that was the case on that big catch you had, because the safety under Cobb, right?
You talking about which catch from?
Catch in the final 37 seconds.
Yeah, I just think that catch was a product of them expecting us with no timeouts to be trying to head to the sideline more than anything. So the middle of the field was wide open. They were just hoping that we couldn't hit, you know, 2 or 3 big plays to get us in position to where we could kick a field goal. And they were hoping that our operation wouldn't be smooth enough to be able to get on the ball and spike it twice. That's what I'm banking on with that. But, you know, the ones early on, it's a little bit of, you know, potentially open me up, but I'm for sure on the one that Quez caught, the deep ball to post, I'm a viable option on that. But, you know, if the coverage is what it is, then that's what the play is for, you know, Quez to, if we get that coverage, then I draw, you know, the corner, the near safety, and then it's just him to beat the safety closest to him at that point. So
would you expect the next time the safety, knowing that you'd hit MVS and Mike?
Well, it's rules, so I mean it's tough to say, because, you know, it's coverage and it's just a man out there doing, you know, trying to do what he's supposed to do based off of, you know, what that coverage says he's supposed to do. But if it's, you know, if I show up a little bit later, he may go there and then I may pop open, or you know, or they say that they want to go just stay with me, and then it puts him in that position to go make that play again. So it's kind of just up to the defense, and that's why we have multiple beaters within that same play to kind of go against whatever defense we're seeing.
Davante, I know blocking is something, you know, has always been ingrained with you guys. You know, you've done it well, Jordy, Randall, and so on. But what have you thought of what Allen brings in that regard, and what has made him such a kind of option and threat when he's doing what he's doing?
Well, Allen's he's an elite level blocker when it comes to that. Just obviously he's got the physical, he's a big dude and all of that, but his mind, like he understands football really well. He understands multiple parts of it. He knows what the O-line is doing a lot of times, so it allows him to be in a good spot, like the one where he cut off on Boza and Jones got an end zone, like stuff like that. Just knowing the body presence of where to be, because if he's a little bit more, if he dives down too far, then Boza can play over the backside of it and then stuff to play easily. So just knowing body presence, knowing how to read a guy, and like I said, the first part, which is, you can be as smart as you want. Like, Shep was really, really smart, but he can't get in there and block Bosa like that. I like to think he can, but, it's a tough job for anybody to do. So for Allen to be able to step in there just makes him more versatile. He's a guy really, really selfless, and allows his team to really do what we do just by being out there. Mismatches, because you put him in, you want to go 11, but then we can use him as a tight end almost, which is, I know he don't like to hear it like that, but, whatever gets it done for the team is kind of his mindset.
We talk
All the time to coaches about players that come in, their players to come in year 1, year 2, year 3, their development. I'm curious what you've seen with Matt as a coach, a guy that hadn't had that job before 2 years ago, his development from when he got here a couple years ago to where he is now as a coach.
Yeah, well, obviously, his production as a coach has been through the roof, and I think it just reflects in how his attention to detail all around, because obviously coming in first shot at being a head coach, there's a lot of things that you got to learn about how to deal with, running a team, and you learn that from your guys, your captains, just experience overall. So I think he's done a great job of being open and receptive, because your first year doing anything, it's not going to be easy. So we went out there and won a lot of games, which allowed us to have even more respect for him as a coach, and have an open ear just to hear the type of things that we want from him, because that's really important as well, just to have that kind of open line of communication. I feel like that's one of the better things that he does is he gives us the opportunity to voice how we feel about stuff, and it's not always going to be implemented, whether it's a play or a route or something that he did that we didn't appreciate or didn't we'd rather him not do or whatever. He's always open to listening, and then how he goes from there is he's the head coach, so he can kind of do what he wants to do, but he's always willing to listen and get better from that. So a lot of respect for him for that.
Is the future a little bit up in the air? Do you savor these victories more with the Packers, like you had on Sunday night?
I just kind of think about it the same way I have the whole time. Honestly, I'm not, after a game like that, I'm not more emotional because, we don't know what's going to happen after this year. I'm just so in the moment that it's just about winning that game and getting on to the next one.
Go ahead, Matt, last one.
I was just going to ask, if I'm not mistaken, I think your high school quarterback works for the 49ers.
Yeah, I saw him at the game.
Were you able to give him a little grief after the game?
I mean, they're such good people that it didn't even cross my mind, honestly. And Steve played here too. His dad, Steve Bono, played with us, or not us, but for the Packers years ago. So they kind of had a little bit of both sides. I saw Steve right before we went out, and I asked him who he was going for. He just laughed, so he didn't. I took that as the Niners. So it makes me feel good knowing we at least went out there and took care of that business in the Bay, made our flight better, and I know Steve is pissed off at home now. So
he was your coach for a little bit in high school, right?
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator.
Eric, we got time for one on Zoom.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Eric. Hey, Davante, so Joe Hayden was asked today if basically he's going to follow you if you're his guy. And I thought this was interesting. Respectfully, he said, no, it's the defense's guy. All 11, TJ's guy, Devin Bush's guy, everybody's guy. What is it like at this stage for you mentally throughout the course of a week, understanding a defense like Pittsburgh, every defense you face sees you that way? How does it kind of fire you up heading into Sundays?
I mean, it's a huge sign of respect for sure. I respect Joe a lot as a person. Love Joe. Respect him as a player. He's done a lot in this league over the past, I think this year 12 for him. So he's been doing it for a long time. So it's a great sign of respect. I know people, based off this last game, I know several guys out there, it's not just the corners with their eyes on me. safeties, probably some D linemen as well. So I just got to get out there and do my job, go run some routes and make some guys miss, but definitely appreciate the, that respect shown by him. Yeah, look forward to playing against him. Haven't played against Joe yet since I've been in the league, so it'll be fun.